Okay, so let's do an example. The example here is going to be on taxes on packs of cigarettes. Again, this is a very, very common excise tax that a lot of states and local governments, even the federal government, have relied on to generate tax revenue and to mitigate smoking behavior. So it is a very, very common excise tax. Let's assume that we have, let's assume that we have a supply for cigarettes, and as an example, at a price of $5 a pack, sellers are willing to sell 100 packs. Now, let's assume that the government levies an excise tax of $3 per pack, and the tax is going to be levied on sellers. So the legal incidence falls on the sellers. Sellers of cigarettes are the ones who, after they sell a pack of cigarettes, have to actually write a check to the government and pay the tax. Okay. Now, the height of the supply curve, as we already know, measures the minimum price that sellers are willing to accept for selling a particular unit of cigarettes. Okay. So for instance here, okay, the minimum price that sellers are willing to accept to sell the 100th pack of cigarettes is $5. Okay. That measures the cost of selling that 100th pack of cigarettes. If a tax per pack of $3 is levied, that effectively raises the cost to sellers per pack by $3. So what we're going to see happening is that the supply curve is going to shift up vertically by $3. Now, for every pack that a seller would sell, the minimum price that they're willing to accept is going to be $3 higher. Why? Because the cost to them is now $3 higher. There's the $5 of original cost, the cost of harvesting the tobacco, all the way up to the cost of selling the pack of cigarettes at 7-Eleven. And now there's an extra $3 that is the cost of paying the government $3 extra per pack. So what we see happening here is that for the 100 pack of cigarettes, whereas sellers previously required at least $5 a pack, now, after the tax, they require at the minimum $8 a pack. Okay? So the question then becomes, well, what does that do to the price of cigarettes in the marketplace? If a $3 tax per pack is levied, and sellers for the 100th pack are now willing to accept no less than $8, does that mean that the price for all cigarettes goes up by $8? And the answer, as you might suspect, or maybe not, is no. The price probably does not go up by a full $3 because demand curves slope downwards. So after a tax after a tax of $3 has been levied, okay, previously for the 100th pack, sellers required at least $5. Now they require at least $8. But notice what happens if sellers try to pass that full $3 tax increase on to buyers. Okay, and now try to sell those 100 packs for $8 a pack. Well, at $8 a pack, sellers are willing to sell 100 packs of cigarettes, but buyers, because demand slopes downward, okay, buyers are maybe only willing to demand 50 packs. So we have a surplus of 50 units in this case. Okay? And a surplus, a surplus is going to put downward pressure on the price of cigarettes, and in this example, price is going to reach its equilibrium point, its market clearing point, at some sort of intermediate price between 5 and 8. I'm going to say $6.50, just as an example, and maybe that equilibrium quantity will be about 75 packs. So even though a $3 tax raises the cost to sellers by $3, it does not necessarily raise the price that buyers actually have to pay by $3. Now, this $6.50, this new market clearing price post-tax, I'm going to label PB this is the price that the buyer pays at the store. Okay, this is the new market price. So, after tax has been imposed, I walk into 7-Eleven, ask for a pack of Camel Lights. The clerk says, "Okay, give me $6.50," and I get my cigarettes. They get $6.50. But that's not where it ends. Okay? As a buyer, that's it for me. I pay $650, I'm done. But the seller who just received $650 now has to take that $650 and mail $3 of those dollars to the government because that's a tax. So the seller actually only receives $350 as denoted by PS, the price received by the seller. Okay? So what we see happening here is that a tax wedge emerges. And that tax wedge, which is just the difference, or a wedge in between the price that a buyer pays and the price that a seller receives, I denote by this green line here. Buyer pays $650, seller receives only $350. And that difference, $650 minus $350, or PB minus PS, that's going to be the actual tax itself.